I'm Antoine Mermod, the team manager of Norwayback. To be the team manager of Norwayback team means that I'm leading the shore team, which is 5 to 10 person depending of the part of the season. And I'm especially involved in all the technical aspect of the project. And I spend a lot of time with Pieter to discuss and think about the best way to achieve his goal. And the last part of my job is during the race. I'm the main contact of the boat for the safety reason and to help him in case of technical issue. Then yes, the first time I met Pieter, I have to say that I was quite surprised about his dream. I understood his dream, but it was quite surprising for me that guys with his experience, which was good, but so different that let's say the normal sailor that wants to make the Vendée Globe. And then yeah, I was quite surprised at the beginning, and I knew that to reach the success in this project, for sure it will be a really different project than what I did before, and maybe it was a good reason to jump in the story. Before I did a lot of things. Just before the project of Pieter, I did spend 1.5 years to build a boat for an Italian skipper. Before that, I was team manager of Energy Team, which was the French America's Cup team in SE45, and mostly I work as engineer or right arm of Loïc Perron, who is a really famous French skipper. And since 2004 and 2005, I'm making most of his project. Talking about the sail culture, in Brittany it's quite a tough and strong offshore culture, and you know, it's like the skipper are building their job or their experience step by step. Most of them, when they're young, they begin by Mini, then they go to Figaro, and then to Class 40, and after that, when they are ready, they can go to IMOCA. And so, what was a little bit different with Pieter is that when he arrived, he was an incredibly experienced sailor, but he had not this, let's say, this normal offshore experience that I used to work with, and in this way, it was quite a different project, and especially it shows that people with different experience can also do IMOCA, even if they are not making let's say the smaller offshore project. And then the story began. And first we had the first refit in Lorient at the CDK shipyard, in which we tried to. First we changed the branding of the boat, and the boat became Norwayback. The second big thing was to put many reinforcements, because it seems that it was not strong enough. And then Pieter we begin to adapt the boat to Pieter, to the way that Pieter thinks that he needs the boat to sail. After that, we went to Lanzarote, and then that was the real beginning of the story. That means that in Lanzarote the goal was to train with boat, and that Pieter went first time single-handed on his boat. I remember very well the first day. First day was a Friday, and then he just left single-handed with his boat for 3 hours. And yeah, it happened. So the weather was really, really good. And then he went. I don't know if I had more stress than him, or if he has more stress than I. But for sure, it was a little stressful this first time. and really, few days after that, because he feel quite comfortable with the boat, he decided to make the first real offshore sailing training. And then he went around the Canary. The idea was an 800-mile trip, and actually it was not really. He did 1 or 2 mistakes. Especially he put a gennaker in the water at the middle of the first night. Then he called me at 2 o'clock in the morning. He said, "What can I do when the gennaker is in the water?" I said, "I think you have lost it." But then after that he was quite tired, and then he had to come back, and he only did 400 miles. Then in one end it was a 3-day single-handed trip, but in the other end the idea was to do 800 and he only did 400. Then the result was not as good as expected. But in the other end, the reason why it was not a success helps us a lot to change few things in the way he's on board. I think he was not eating enough. He maybe more focused by the boat and not enough by him about the skipper. And then this mistake helps that the next step, which was the Calero to the Porto Calero to Newport race, which was the race to qualify the Vendée Globe, and then the major first step of our project. Because of this training, I think that more or less we were ready. He was ready for this first transat. This first transat was a huge moment because the first time you sail a long time on in an IMOCA, and it's really not easy. And what was not expected was the meteo was a disaster. It should have been an easy weather for the first transatlantic, but at the end it was a nightmare, upwind for 3 weeks. Then we had a really hard time. Few things were not perfect on board because it was the first time that the boat sailed such a long time that we discover any mistake that has been done, and that makes the job really more complicated to Pieter. And in the other way, Pieter, he did fight with the boat, with the meteo, with himself. But at the end, we met all in Newport after 22 days, I think, something like that. And Pieter was qualified to the Vendée Globe. And more or less, it was the second start of the project after that. Because he was qualified, because we had a lot of problems, because we managed to solve most of the problem, because Pieter did a transatlantic single-handed on an IMOCA. That means that he knows where he go now. And then that was maybe the second start, or maybe the real start of the Vendée Globe, of the real Vendée Globe project. And after that, yes, we prepared the Vendée Globe. Next question is how Pieter is doing now. Pieter is doing well now because Pieter is doing the Vendée Globe. Like most of the other skippers, he had few issues. He had few good moments, he had few really hard moments, he had a big storm, he had light conditions sometimes, and we are really proud about what he is doing, because I think he's improving a lot every day in this race. And I think that Pieter is really determined, and he's also really precise. All the details are important, everything is balanced, and everything has to to enter in an organization, to build something step by step, and I think it's a good way to prepare a Vendée Globe. The tenacity is one of the most important skills that you need, and yes, and the organization and details are really important for the success. A Vendée Globe project is quite a complex project because it's a team of 5-10 persons and a lot of other people that has to work well together to succeed. And I think that the human project is a success, and especially with Pieter, between me and Pieter, because at the beginning we were quite different, with different experience, and more and more we manage and we appreciate to work together. And I think that at the end I can say that we've got a good complicity to reach this project, and now we are talking and exchanging an email almost every day, and it's quite nice to share this Vendée Globe. It would have been really good if we had more time to prepare the race, because preparing such a challenge is it really takes a lot of time, a lot of man-hour, a lot of energy, and actually we have really begun the job in January last year, then 1 year ago, and it was really short to reach all the goal we had with Pieter. Then yes, if I had to change something, is maybe to have a little bit more time for the project. But more or less, 1 year after, and yes, exactly 1 year after, Pieter is in the middle of the Pacific. Then we just have to wish, to cross the finger and to wish that the second part and the last part of the race is going really well for Pieter. And then we are all we can't wait to be in Les Sables d'Olonne to have a good beer, a good Heineken beer, to celebrate the end of this crazy story.